Over heel Vlaanderen worden massagraven klaargemaakt om de overvloed aan lijken van de straat te halen.
Trumpets in the sky. So this is the post-apocalyptic with a biblical spin. Trumpets are blaring, people are dying or going crazy because they're hearing them, and we got one mother and her deaf child.
With the deaf kid and the mom wearing the earmuffs, it just felt like maybe there was something going on where a lot of people turned due to, I guess, biblical kind of like scriptures or what have you, and maybe he was kind of conditioned, much like the culture that was there that was turning on certain individuals. And that's what she was trying to protect him from. That's why they couldn't get to him, because he had already been turned. That's what I got from it, so yeah, I thought it was good.
If you view the film from the concept of end of days, then what he was doing with the self-flagellation was trying to atone for his sins, possibly the sins of the world. And of course, the scene at the end was the sacrifice of his first son, that idea of Jacob sacrificing his son. And the fact that the trumpets stopped at that moment was the same as when God had said to Jacob, you don't have to sacrifice your son. I was merely testing you to see whether or not you actually had faith in me. And so what I thought was actually very interesting, though, is that once the trumpets stopped, when he showed that he was willing to sacrifice his son, when everybody looked up, that the blood actually started falling from the sky, which of course is the next horse that comes through.
It's chilling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's terrifying thing. And I thought this was really interesting because you see, there's that one moment where the woman's banging on the stairs, like, let me in, please help me. Yes, we'll go to you. And the only sane voice was, I really want to talk about Jesus Christ. And I thought, oh, that's what this is. Like, the only people who aren't crazy are the devout ones. But then why are they there? Aren't they supposed to be? I don't know.
That would have been the rapture before.
Oh, I get you. Yes.
I really like the treatment of the supernatural, where you're left in doubt over whether these events are fantasy or some sort of sci-fi explanation. They're always like, there's the door with like the monsters, and they did not explicitly show that. And they also showed like, well, they didn't show the kid looking up. And I feel like all of these supernatural elements, they're purposely withheld so that it's left to your imagination, and that you can't really explain the supernatural, so you might as well imagine it. And I was really blown away by the mother's performance. I think like the facial expressions like really stood out to me, and I feel like that was like, I got that for performance of the night so far, so pretty good.
One of the best things you can do as a filmmaker in a short film like that is leave it up to the audience's imagination. The audience will project what is most horrifying to them.